everybody to Let's Talk Racing. I got myself, Roger Brehm, and Al Pearce. How you doing tonight, Al?
I'm good. Except I can't see me up there.
Well,
that's okay. I don't need you to see me.
You can see over on the left side there.
That's all right. No, I'm good. I'm good.
I need to center it anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, here I am.
There you is.
About 5 seconds behind.
That's all right. You can do that curve.
Yeah, right.
Time-dimensional space thing.
I watched a movie last night about Stephen Hawking.
Oh yeah, you watched that?
I couldn't understand half of it, but
Theory of Everything.
Yeah. I couldn't understand it, but it's all right.
You could probably help out these guys at race cars too.
Yeah, right.
Get them to time warp around the track.
Yeah, yeah.
Could you imagine that? Hitting the accelerator, all of a sudden leaving the turn 2 and you're already into 3?
Yeah, it happens all the time with, you know,
little teeny short
cheaters.
Oh, don't know of any of those. So, what'd you think of the race out in California?
As usual, it came down to the cautions in the last 10 laps. You can almost count on it. You know, you read a bunch of stuff about whether NASCAR bogus up some debris cautions. One of them obviously was not a bogus when Larson's back fender went off. And to his credit, Kurt Busch did not say probably what he thought, which was they don't want me to win, so they're going to find a caution to bunch the field. And yet, you know, if you're the leader and you make a pit stop on the caution, you should come out still leading.
Yeah. And
you should still be able to win, but it did give Keselowski an opportunity to close up. And on 4 tires versus 2, it probably was not a big surprise.
Yeah. I mean,
but you kind of wonder whether NASCAR was thinking, you know, man, this guy just came back from a long suspension. Everybody's watching him. Everybody's watching us. Do we want him to win immediately, or? But he sure deserved to win. He ran awfully well. Of course, Matt Kenseth ran well too, and he had a mechanical issue that killed him. But I'm sure Busch felt like they were out to get him.
Well, usually when you see somebody crash, and you see a bunch of smoke up in the air, you almost automatically see that caution flag come out real quick. Yeah. Well, as they were coming down the front stretch, you saw Biffle back there crashing.
Did he hit anything though? Well, did he just do a 360?
I think he hit something because he's got his head to the front end of that thing.
Oh, okay.
A little bit.
Yeah. Well, at that point, probably Keselowski was leading anyway.
He was. No, he wasn't. He didn't catch the lead till they were coming out of the turn.
Going out of the backstretch.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
Going in, Kurt was in the lead.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can see his side. You know, any other time, as soon as there's a crash, the light's on. This time there's a crash, and they're going to wait.
Well, I remember the year that Mark Martin was leading Daytona, coming for the white, and a bunch of guys wrecked behind him, and they did not throw the caution until after Harvick had passed for the lead at the white flag, and that locked him in. And Martin never complained too much except to say they held the flag too long, meaning they saw the wreck. We had another 1.5 seconds or 2 seconds to get to the line, and they didn't throw it until after we crossed the line, and that was his best chance to win a Daytona 500. So, you know, California was okay. I think a lot of people are anxious to get to Martinsville. A lot of folks are probably anxious to go to Texas and Bristol to kind of get a feel for everything, every different kind of track.
Right. With
the new aero package, and we'll see. So, I think they're excited about being in Martinsville, legitimately so.
Are you ready to go to Martinsville?
Oh yeah, I'm always ready to go there.
You heard about what they did with the hot dogs, right?
Yeah, I don't care. Well, I mean, let's have one first.
Yeah, I mean,
and then we'll decide.
I mean, everybody was in an uproar, and I said, "Well, wait till you taste them.
Yeah.
You know, see what you think." And, actually have a thing on our forum there. Go have one and let us know what you think of them.
Well, race fans are generally obsessive about everything.
Yeah.
Anything that they don't like, or anything that's different, they generally don't like it at first. So let's just wait and see.
And let's see, isn't there another qualifying rules change or something like that coming to Martinsville?
I think, no, not Martinsville. I think they're going to do a qualifying rules change at Talladega, maybe.
Going from like 15 minutes to 20 minutes?
No. I think it might go back to single car at Talladega. Or put out 3 cars at a time and get it over with quicker, but you don't send them all of them out at one time. It'll be sort of single car again, but not exactly. So, but they're going to keep tinkering until they get it right or wrong. If it's wrong, they're going to tinker to get it right. If it's right, they're going to tinker until they get it wrong. So
yeah,
but they know what they're doing because they're all billionaires. If we knew what we were doing, we'd be thousandaires.
Something like that. Afford a new car every year or something.
Yeah, I see the 33 car, Joe Falk's car, got busted big time for a suspension issue at California.
Yeah, the truck arms.
Yeah, it's going to cost the crew chief, I think, 3 races.
Yep, exactly.
And a bunch of money.
25, I think 25 grand,
yeah.
50 grand, something like that.
Yeah.
Or it might be costing Falk 50 grand.
No, it's costing Falk points most. Well, I mean, the owner always pays the fines, but yeah, it'll cost him a little bit of money. But then he's got it, so.
And then the number 8 Xfinity team.
I don't even know who that is.
Me neither.
So it must not be that big a deal.
But they had 5 team members.
They had 4 or 5. One was suspended, and the others are on probation. And I presume something about they wouldn't get out of a secured area. They would not obey a security guard's.
Yeah, there was something about security issues. Let's see if I can look that up real quick.
But a lot of security guards are power hungry anyway, so it might be that the security guard may have asked him to do something that was completely out of bounds, and they didn't do it, and it got them in trouble. So, but I don't know who the number 8 Xfinity team is anyway.
Yeah, they didn't even say who it was.
Well, they never do. They just say the car number and the individuals involved. So they don't tell you who it is.
Behavioral penalties. Actions during pre-race March 21st. Follow sections 12-1 actions detrimental. Behavioral penalty.
Well, just go to the Xfinity races.
Mark Armstrong was fined $1,500, suspended until 21st, probation until the end of the year.
21st of April.
April, yeah. And then Tyler Bullard, Nathaniel House, Jeremy Howard, and Ryan Mulder all been placed on probation through the 31st.
Well, once you go to the Xfinity result page and look at who the number 8 car at California was, I have no idea. Kurt Busch is already, after 2 races, Kurt Busch is already top 30 in points easily.
Yeah.
So all he's got to do is win one or keep getting higher and higher in points, and he'll be chase eligible after missing 3 races, which will be pretty amazing if you can make the chase after missing 3. I know Denny made it last year missing, well, he had a win, so that kind of took care of it. But Denny missed the race last year and made it.
Cool. Well, let's see. Car number 8.
I suspect it's way down near the bottom.
Blake Koch. K-O-C-H. Koch, however you pronounce it.
Oh, Blake Koch?
Yeah.
Okay.
TriStar Motorsports.
Oh, TriStar. Okay. They've been around a while.
Yeah. Maybe they had some people they hired on as temps and didn't know the rules or something. You know how that can be. But anywho, let's see. You want to have? I told you who we were going to have on yet.
Yeah.
We're going to have Sean supposedly calls in at 7:15. We got Erik Jones and Brandon Jones after him.
Okay.
And of course, Erik, he runs ARCA, trucks, Xfinity. I keep wanting to say Bush. I still haven't gotten it stuck in my mind yet.
Oh God, you should be saying Nationwide before you say Bush.
Yeah, that's true. What can I say? We've been around long enough and been called even more stuff than that way back when.
Budweiser. Budweiser was there first.
So, Langley Speedway. Did you talk to Chuck or Bill Mullis any?
Talked to Chuck today.
Okay.
As we passed on the street, literally. He was coming in, I was going out, and we chatted in the cars for a few minutes.
1 year.
Driver's side to driver's side.
Yeah, 1 year or more.
At least, yeah. I don't know this for a fact, but I suspect that Bill Mullis will start attempting as early as July or August to get a land purchase deal in place. I can almost assure you they're not going to go until next March unsure of what they're doing. They will not go through what they've been through again. And if the lady will sell it to them, then I think you'll see some dramatic changes out there. You might see Musco lights. You might see another repave. You might see the outside pits paved. But why would you improve all that? Why would you spend all that money if the land's not yours?
Yeah.
So I think a great deal of Langley's future depends on whether the lady in California, or ladies, there's one or two, I don't know, sisters, I think, maybe one of them's dead. Anyway, the landowner in California, if they decide, if they agree to sell, then I think Langley will move forward dramatically. And if not, I think Bill will get through this year and next October or November say, we've been trying for 4 months to get a land deal. They have changed their mind again and they will not give us a land deal, so we're going to tell you right now in October or November we're shutting down. And then the ladies who are getting money now from Langley will be getting no money. And
well, now actually, are they not going to get any money, or is because he's actually leasing it from Click?
Yeah, but if Bill doesn't pay Click's got nothing to send the ladies in California.
So he's actually going to be responsible for.
Well, yeah, it'll be his to worry about.
Yeah. I mean that sort of puts him in a sticky situation, stuck in the middle there.
Well, I mean it
is what it is.
I mean, if you sublease your property from somebody, you're responsible to pay the lease to that person.
Right.
And the person you're subleasing it to must pay you, just say $100.
Yeah.
And then you take your 30% or your 25% and you send the other 75 to the lady who owns the property, then you're making money, she's making money. If the guy who's running the place shuts down, who's making money?
Yeah.
Nobody.
That's right.
So I just think that's what's going to happen. I don't feel, I don't think for a second that they will wait until next fall to get it done.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, and I think maybe Sean Beluzzo can tell you this, and if you get Chuck on the phone next week, he'll probably tell you this. It came real close to shutting down this year.
Yeah, Chuck was telling me, he says, yeah, one day I'm sitting there trying to figure if I got to go look for a job and start looking, and then turn flipping back around. And
it came real close. And I think the people who made it happen are in Daytona Beach. I truly believe that NASCAR corporately stepped in and said, okay, lady or gentleman or whomever, this is what we need to do. This speedway's got contracts with us to run 3 events, meaning 2 modifieds and a K&N race. K&N race will be on TV. We have contracts in place. You're going to have to honor your contract with us, talking to Bill, and they may have told the lady in California, you gotta come down on the lease a little bit so that your tenant can operate. If not, everybody's gonna go to court and we'll figure it out there. So I believe it's mostly a question of whether Bill wants to continue to improve the property, although most of it was improved when he got there.
Yeah.
You got to give Wayne Wyatt and Chuck, and the lawyer friend of Wayne's, and I forget his name, Jim Wood.
Yeah.
I think is the man's name, that put up the concrete wall and put up the aluminum seats and the skyboxes and the elevator. They improved the property dramatically, and I think Bill is willing to make another equally dramatic improvement with lights and paving, but not unless it's his own property.
Yeah.
And you can't blame him. So that's all I know.
Let me see if I can get Beluso here. People when they say, "Oh, I won't miss
Hi,
this."
this is Sean at Signs and Graphics to Go and the Hitchhiker. If I'm not answering this stuff,
well, you're
not
not
going to be on. Oh, I love it! I love it! I love it! Take him ring his other phone. Are you going to join me when I go and interview some of these guys that are wanting to get interviewed by us?
I can do what now?
Would you like to join me when I go do some interviews?
Well, yeah. You mean tonight?
No, at Martinsville.
Oh, if you tell me when you're doing it and where you're doing it, yeah.
I get when I'm setting up a couple of the guys got invitations to go visit this weekend at the race and everything. So figure it can't hurt.
You might want to call one of your other calling guests early, because if Sean's not around, we're going to be sitting here with a lot of airtime.
I wonder if Eric might want to do him early.
Well, when I left Langley at probably 5:30 to come over here, he was driving in, probably to take his wife Terry out to dinner, I would think. If he's a nice guy, probably would. Call Marty O'Brien. Ask Marty what he thinks.
All right.
Marty, may I help you?
Hey Marty, it's Roger and Al. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, Marty, you got about 2 minutes?
Do I have about 10 minutes?
2 minutes.
2 minutes, yeah, I have 2 minutes.
We have some time to kill, and you're the best guy I know to kill time.
Oh, okay, so I'm on the air here?
Yeah, if you don't mind, since you've been on top of it, just it won't take but a second, and nothing.
Sure.
We're not going to ask you anything that you couldn't tell us, but you were on top of the Langley development today. For those of our listeners and viewers who may not have looked at the Daily Press website, give us a synopsis of what you wrote and what you think about tomorrow night. In that order.
Yeah, first of all, tomorrow night's really easy. Langley they have finalized negotiations on a couple of one-year leases. They have 2 leases on the property, one for where the track is, and they sublease it from someone locally, and another part of the property where the Westgate Pub used to be, this parking lot that they leased from a landowner in California. The leases that they had before were 5-year leases. They expired December 31st, and it was taking a lot of time for the two to come to terms that would make both sides happy. So I was told this morning that they've come to those terms, that people are happy that there's going to be practice there on Saturday, and the season's going to be over on April 4th. And I think that's a relief for a lot of people who, when they read our article last week, which was information from Chuck Hall and the general manager at Langley, Bill Mullis, the owner, that they couldn't have practice last week because they were still negotiating the leases at that time. So I'm sure some people were a little bit worried about that, but I think the track, just had to put out the information that the I's hadn't been dotted, T's hadn't been crossed, and that's why there wasn't practice. Looks like everybody's going to be happy. They're going to have their 65th anniversary season, and it all starts on April 4th.
Let me ask you this, and again, don't tell us anything that you don't feel comfortable telling us, but did you have any serious doubts that it might not happen this year? Because I'll admit that I did.
Right. I had doubts, but I don't want to say, in my position, and you've been in the same position a whole lot longer than I have, when you're a newspaper guy, you just go by what you're told. So, when you hear a piece of information, that's when you believe it. There were some doubts, but as I've told you, I always thought all along they were going to have a 2015 season and things were going to get done. But again, certainly, I think there were good reasons to have some doubt.
What would be the bigger upset? Langley not opening or Kentucky not winning the whole thing?
Oh, I think Langley not opening. Kentucky has went most of the last 65 years without winning. They've got, I don't know how many national championships during that time. They have 8, and probably 5 or 6 of them have come in that time in the 65 years. But Langley's opened every one of those years. So it would be a big upset if it didn't open, and fortunately that upset didn't come to pass.
So you feel good about tomorrow night?
I think Kentucky will beat West Virginia, and then I think they'll do that handily. Then I think they're going to play a very tough game on Saturday to get to the Final Four against the winner of Wichita State and Notre Dame.
You figure Notre Dame will win that one, don't you?
I think Notre Dame will win it, but it wouldn't surprise me if Wichita State won. They're a very good team. I think that's going to be a great game. And if people remember last year, Wichita State was undefeated in the tournament when Kentucky beat them. They would love to play an undefeated Kentucky and turn the tables on them, but God's not going to let that happen.
Now, on the off chance that Kentucky loses tomorrow night, will I still expect to see you for Friday morning? Or will you be hanging off a light post somewhere?
No, you'll see me Friday morning. You may see me a little bit inebriated Friday night if that happens. But no, I'll keep my emotions in check if they lose, get a few hours of sleep, and be ready to go to Martinsville with you.
All right. Listen, appreciate your time. Like I said, we had a few minutes to kill, and since you've been on top of the Langley story basically since most of January and February and the end of March, we thought you would have as usual, your insightful insight, and we know more now than we did when we called you. Because I didn't know they had signed 2 one-year leases. I thought it was just for 15.
No, it's not 2 one-year leases. It's just 2 different leases.
Oh, 2 leases. I'm sorry. You're right. Okay.
The whole lease is for 1 year, but it's just 2 different parts of the area that's on that. For now it's 1 year, and anything beyond that they're going to have to work on later in the season. But right now, all the Langley fans are happy.
Yeah, I told Roger I felt like it would be incumbent on Bill and his people to start working on that land purchase deal as early as they can, because Bill just can't afford to spend another December, January, February like he did this most recent one.
Well, you know, Bill,
just driving him crazy.
He'd like to get it done next week if he could.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's kind of it's out of his hands, which is not the way he likes to do things. Yeah, but you know, businessmen that are real successful, they like to be able to control what they can. So you know, he'd like to get it done as soon as possible.
All right, I'll see you Friday morning at my house at 6:15.
All right, Roger, Al, appreciate it, and I'll see you on Friday morning.
And I'm telling the world for the record, if you get there at 6:16, you may be left.
Might be like a Ryan Newman.
No, I may be driving my own car, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'll be there.
I might give you a little bit of grace time, but not much.
All right, if I need a couple minutes grace, I'll let you know.
Call and let me know. We'll stop at Hardee's in Suffolk for biscuit.
All right, appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Marty. Appreciate it.
See you down there Friday, Marty.
All right, see you there, Roddy.
Bye.
Yeah, so I did not realize that there were two pieces of land that were in debate. I guess the old Westgate pub land.
Yeah, for the part of that parking lot and everything is.
Yeah, and which they now use for a truck driving school.
Yeah.
That, and then I think the speedway and the big parking on the left side of the drive-in gate is probably all one piece together. And so I'm glad they got it done.
Cool beans. Yeah, you remember back when they used to have the go-kart track?
Oh yeah, Bill Lowry. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Westgate Pub was there.
Yeah. God, back in the 10 cents a wing day.
I don't know who owns that. I think that might be a John Click piece of land, and all the rest is a lady in California. I think.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't say because I don't know. All right, who we got next?
Waiting for Erik Jones to call in. He's got about another minute or two to call in.
Okay. You got a bio of him somewhere I can look at?
All right.
I think I know him.
Erik Jones? You should know him. Let's see here. Hey, got too many keyboards around.
You know, if nobody calls in, that means we could just leave and go to dinner early.
There you go. You want the Erik Jones site or the Wikipedia?
I don't care. Where's he from?
Right, Byron, Michigan.
Never heard of it.
Won 2012, 2013 Snowball Derbies.
Oh, okay.
Racing for Kyle Busch Motorsports.
Oh, that's right. I think he beat Kyle in that derby to get that ride.
That's always good to do. Here, feel free. Just scale up and down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was part of the championship winning team last year.
Yeah. Let's see what's going on here.
You're not having a very good night tonight, are you, Roger?
I tell you. And Eric's actually had his in advance for like 2 weeks now.
See what J.D. Gibbs is ailing a little bit.
Yeah.
People may not realize, so I'm going to tell them. He played college football in Williamsburg. He played at William and Mary as a defensive back and probably took a few hits. And I would not be surprised if that might not be a contributing factor to his current problems.
Could be.
A lot of players are saying they don't want to. They're sort of giving up the game because they've had too many concussions. And they don't want to. They don't want to prolong the or extend the possibility of being injured. And I think maybe J.D. Gibbs might be part of maybe in that group. Because it sounds like it's sort of an early onset Alzheimer's, that type of thing, where you lose coordination, you have trouble speaking,
right?
You have trouble processing. You know, okay, if we go here, here, and here, where do we go next? And gee, I don't know, stuff like that. So we gotta keep him in mind.
Hey Andy, this is Roger down at Let's Talk Racing, trying to find out what happened to Erik. Okay, thank you. Alright.
What's the deal?
I'll go remind him.
Do what?
He's going to go call him and remind him.
Who is Andy?
That's his PR guy.
Oh, he didn't do a very good job in this one, did he?
Well, it is. It's on his schedule.
Well, just because they're scheduled doesn't mean they remember it.
Granted. Usually I get the number ahead of time, that way I can text him reminder stuff. Sometimes that doesn't help either. It's terrible when your local guys don't even do good.
Yeah.
The other guys usually don't have much problem with.
You should have left a message for Blueso to call you.
I did.
Because he might have been between.
Let me check.
Well, I'm sure he had his cell phone on.
The last Wednesday when he forgot to call us, he was down at the shop working. Yeah, I sent him a message before we even started the show. Don't forget to call in tonight. So what else is kicking out there in the news?
No, you got it covered pretty much. Trucks are at Martinsville this weekend.
After their nice little vacation.
Nationwide gets a weekend off, or Xfinity gets a weekend off. I think Xfinity gets a week off next week too, being Easter. I don't think they run on Easter weekend. But then they show up again at Texas.
Still the mouse. They get the mouse from.
Oh. They show up at Texas. They go to Bristol, Richmond. Yeah, they may do 5 or 6 in a row after skipping next weekend.
On my cell phone. Roger speaking. Hey Erik. let me just call you back. You called my cell phone. I can't put you on the air through it. No problem. I'll just call you back on the number here, okay? Alright, bye. Oh, God. What's the one I need? Erik. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, you got Roger Brehm and Pearce here with you. Just checking in and getting everybody to learn something about you.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good.
You ready for Martinsville?
Oh yeah. I think we're all pretty ready to get back in the truck and get back at it over on that side of things.
Okay. Why don't you give us a quick bio about your racing career so far, so people get to learn a little bit of something about you?
Yeah, I started racing when I was 7. I'm quarter midgets actually back home in Michigan, and did that for a while. And then when I was 12, I hopped into a stock car and started getting a feel for all that. So pretty fast progression up to that point, and then into late models next year, and racing around there in some of the bigger late model shows, and down to the Snowball Derby, and ended up racing against Kyle Busch down there, and went in and get an opportunity over in the Truck Series for 5 races in 2013, and that really jump-started my career to a pretty cool point. So been a really fun last couple of years, and been a really fast couple of years, but been fortunate enough to get good people and good teams and win races, and we're hoping to keep doing the same thing.
Erik, if you had not beaten Kyle, I think you won the Snowball Derby the year that he was there watching or competing. Is that right?
Yeah, he was racing that year, and we won.
Okay. If you had not beaten him that day, you think you'd be where you are now?
You know, at that point, I wasn't too far along in my career on the ARCA or NASCAR side of things, and you know that really did jumpstart it. So to honestly say if I would be at the same point, no, I don't think I would be. But you know, it's just a matter of circumstances and the way things work out sometimes that we were able to go ahead and get that win and get that opportunity.
Do you remember much about that day? I mean, did you have the best car all day, or did you have to struggle? You know, that's a pretty prestigious event. I just wonder how it unfolded for you that day.
No, we definitely had the best car all day that day. We led laps early. I think we led 120 and 300 laps, and ended up having though to battle Kyle at the end. He was really good all day, and raced side by side with him for probably 20 laps or so, and ended up coming out on top. But definitely a hard fought win at the end of the day, but definitely a great race car, and one of the best I've ever had still to this day. How
soon after that did you and Kyle begin to talk about maybe you possibly driving, you know, for him at some point in time? Certainly wasn't that same day, was it, or a little bit later on?
No, it was probably, I'd say a couple weeks after that. We got in touch, and he got a hold of me, and we were talking and trying to get something together, and 5 races was what was open at the time to be filled, and fortunately they were short tracks that I could run at the time, and got the opportunity and the notion to go ahead and do that, and go ahead and go out and run some races.
So that was around Christmas time, I guess, because Snowball Derby's in early December, is that right?
Yeah, actually, we flew to Charlotte to meet on the 23rd, so the day before Christmas Eve.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, right?
That was definitely one of the best Christmas presents I think I've gotten.
Yeah. Do you have a timetable? Do you have a schedule of when you'd like to be where in your career? A lot of drivers say that when I'm 21, I want to be here. When I'm 24, I want to be somewhere else. Have you mapped it out yet?
You know, I tried to when I was younger, but you know, after I started getting into the NASCAR world and really seeing how things work, it's like, man, you can't put a timetable on things. And you know, I definitely have goals where I'd love to be at certain ages, and you know, hopefully in a couple years, 3 years, I can be in the Cup Series, and next year I'd love to be full-time Xfinity. So, you know, little things like that, I think I just set goals for. But to have a true timetable, man, that's pretty tough.
Well, speaking of your boss man, how is he doing? I assume that you talk to him on occasion. Is his rehab and recovery coming along pretty well?
Yeah, it's been coming along good. He's doing well. I went and visited him probably about 2 weeks ago and checked up on him, and he's just ready to get back racing. He's getting stir crazy at his house, so he's feeling better every day and starting to do some physical therapy and trying to get back to the racetrack.
Well, not to give us any secrets, but have you got any projected date? You got any idea when you think you might be ready?
I honestly don't. You know, I think they're all trying their best to get her back as soon as possible, and hopefully it's here within the next few months. He's going to be back out racing with everybody.
Cool. Now, how much have you raced at Martinsville so far?
I think I've been there, trying to count. This will be my 4th time there, actually, so plenty of experience. It's not one of my favorite tracks on the schedule, so hopefully this will be the time that we can go ahead and figure that place out. But definitely a neat place and fun to race at. So.
Now, you were saying something about having favorite racetracks. Do you have certain ones that you feel you race at better than others?
Yeah, I do. You know, I think definitely every time we go to Phoenix every year, man, we got a great shot to win in whatever car it is, as well as Las Vegas and some other places that we always feel comfortable with. But I think every driver has their tracks that they feel good about, and you know, that's just a couple of them for me.
Cool. Now, you were talking about Vegas. What's your favorite place to eat out in Vegas?
Man, I don't know. I'm trying to think of
In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite place.
Al wants to know, have you gone to In-N-Out Burger yet?
Yeah. That's definitely got to be up on the list for me. That's a pretty good place right there.
Well, now you're relatively inexperienced at Martinsville. Who will you go to? Who will you talk to? What advice will you seek when you get there about, you know, hey, how should I drive this place, or do you just learn it as you go along?
Yeah. You know, some of the places, I think going to Kyle and talking to him and trying to figure it out and is the biggest thing for me. But, you know, a place like Martinsville, I remember originally when I went there the first time in 2013, I talked to Denny Hamlin about it, kind of got his opinions and ideas for there. But, you know, every place is mostly Kyle and trying to lean on him and learn all the stuff he's figured out there over the past few years.
Yeah, Denny's a good guy to talk to. He knows how to get around that place pretty well, so you can't go wrong with him.
No, not at all.
Hang on just a second, Brandon.
All right.
All right, back with you, Eric. Sorry about that. And Brandon calling in also. You know Brandon Jones, right?
Yeah. I met him a couple years back at the late model race.
Are y'all related?
No. I've got that question a few times, and actually, no. Funny enough, we're not related.
All right. Well, let me go ahead and let you get going. I know you got other things to do, and we'll go ahead and get him on the line. Go ahead and give a shout out to your sponsors. Me or Al will probably swing by and say hi to you this weekend.
All right, absolutely. Sounds good. Yeah, just thanks to everybody at Toyota Care, and GameStop for everything they've been doing this year, and we're looking forward to the rest of the season and trying to go grab some wins.
Well, good deal. We'll talk to you later on then, Eric.
Thank you.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
All right. Bye-bye. Hey, Brandon.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. Sorry about that while ago. I hit the hold button and I don't know where it went to.
No problem. Like, uh-oh, it dropped something.
So when you called in, I said, oh, to hell with it. I'll just go to the main line and just mute you so you didn't have to worry about anything.
Right. That's cool.
All right. You got me and Al Pearce here. We're going to be popping a few questions at you. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Your stuff, how you got into racing, what got you to where you are, and possibly some of the things you're looking for in the future.
Yeah, from Atlanta, Georgia, and I've been driving for about 4.5 years or so, I'd say. Started at 11, just making practice laps near Gresham with Cale Gale and his dad. They were training Spencer Davis at the time with the Super Truck. We went down there and hung out with them a little bit, and fell in love off that. I mean, we did that for a year, made laps, and then we ran for track championship in the Super Truck Series at Gresham and Lanier, and had a lot of success there. Won one of the both track championships for that deal. That was pretty cool. And then did some late model stuff after that, and started doing K&N a little bit. Now we're doing trucks and extending and ARCA and all over the place.
Well, I mean, how did you wind up with the truck ride?
Yeah, that all actually kind of came through Cale. We were on Eddie Sharp's, racing for a while there with the late models and K&N and stuff like that. So he was with Eddie's for a while too, and then he was with Turner's, and we kind of got through over there with them, and just kind of kept taking off like that. Everywhere he's been, we've kind of been a part of. So it's been pretty cool to be, with him and have that reference.
Cool. Do you have anybody you look up to as you were coming up through the ranks?
Not really. I mean, you know, now that I've been racing, I've got just a ton of respect for pretty much every Cup or Nationwide or Xfinity now and truck driver out there. It's incredible what some of those guys, how the knowledge they have and things like that. I mean, every Cup driver's got incredible knowledge. So, I mean, I respect every one of them.
So each track you're going to, you're picking up more and more knowledge about what you're doing, what you're learning. Do you have a favorite track?
I would say probably Iowa. That place has been really good to us, and I don't know, I've just really clicked with that place for some reason.
Okay. What about this weekend?
I'm pretty pumped. We went here like 4 times so far, you know, so I'm looking forward to getting a good qualifying spot and hopefully running up front for most of this thing. It'll be pretty cool since we've been there so much. Maybe we'll have some good luck finally.
Brandon, when you first went to Martinsville and you looked at that place and you thought, my God, this is just as flat as a tabletop, was it a tremendous challenge early on, or did you adapt to it pretty quickly?
It was a little bit of a challenge. You really have to drive it in really far, and I don't know, it kind of took me a little bit to get used to that, I think. And I mean, you just have to drive it in like almost to the entry, and then you just got to get hard on the brakes. So that was a little difficult to get used to at first, but I think this time around will be you know, just like we've been doing it for a long time. So hopefully it won't be too bad. We'll work up on it really quick.
Is that sort of the key to, you know, you got to save your brakes a little bit, you got to save tires some. If you really brake too hard too early, you're pretty much done at the end. Is that kind of the thinking that most of you guys have?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you know, like I was saying, you have to drive it in so far, but you're walking a fine line with that because the farther you drive it in, the harder you're on your brakes. So, I mean, it's a fine line for sure. You got to get in, you know, pretty hard, but like you said, you don't want to be pumping your brakes the whole race because they're already out, you know, halfway. That's never fun.
Can you use gearing at all? Can you gear down a little bit, or does that sacrifice at another part of the racetrack?
Yeah, I think that kind of hurts, you know, your drive off and everything. You're going to be spinning your tires a little too much. So everyone pretty much just gets in fourth gear and kind of just stays there and rides around for most of it. I
mean, your gear ratio, your setting. I mean, can you run a gear that?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's. You know, it's. I think you got to kind of stick with what you know on that. You kind of want a lower gear, so when you get on the corner, it bogs down just a tick, so you save tires, you know, for the very end of it.
Okay. Who did you learn from when you first went to Martinsville? Who did you go to and say, "Help me out here. Tell me what I'm doing"? What drivers did you seek out for help?
Oh, well, Cale, he's been really successful there, and the first time we went there, I was actually with him, and so he was a big help with that, and helped us a ton there. I've talked to a couple, you know, multiple drivers, cup drivers, Todd Bush, and a few other people at the really, really flat tracks like New Hampshire and things like that. So a lot of things that they've told me can transfer to Martinsville also.
Now, you guys have not raced since Atlanta, is that correct?
That's right. They actually, Todd's been running the truck so far. He ran it at Daytona and Atlanta, so this will be my first time hopping in it.
Okay, first time this year. Okay.
This year, yeah.
Is it difficult running every third or fourth week? I mean, do you sort of lose your rhythm? Obviously, I know race drivers would like to race probably every day if they could, but how difficult is it to kind of get geared up to go to a race this weekend knowing you've got a couple of weeks off before you go again?
Well, we've got a lot of stuff going on this year, and a lot of things that are going to fill in to take place over, you know, some of the races that, you know, that take a while to come. We've got a couple ARCA races and a few truck races and a few Xfinity. So, I mean, I'll go to Martinsville, and then I got some ARCA for a while, and then trucks, and then Xfinity. So, you know, once we get going here, it's going to start clicking off pretty fast and pretty much almost every weekend. So that won't be too bad, but the big gaps are for sure take a little bit to kind of get used to. We ran Mobile, and that went really well, so that was kind of get our feet wet back in the seat a little bit, so that helped a lot.
Now, where are you from originally?
Atlanta.
Oh, I'm sorry, after you said that. That's right, okay.
Yeah.
So I guess when they ran Atlanta and you weren't in the truck, that was kind of a bummer.
No, man. That was going to be pretty cool to be able to go to the hometown and run that race. But definitely next year, you will shoot for that for sure next year.
Okay.
It looks like you got the next 8 races you get to run, and then Dylan will take over for a little bit for about 3 races, and then you're back in again, and then back out again, then back in again.
I know. It's not bad though, it's kind of cool having both of those guys over there with all the knowledge they have from, tough Xfinity trucks. They've been around it for a long time, so I mean they've got a ton of knowledge and they can help, bring to the team a lot for sure. I think they can help the 33 program a ton.
Now, when these guys are racing in your place, are you just down there watching, or do you get the option to be able to go to somebody else's team if they've got something open?
I'm usually just watching, if anything, I'm at home on the couch, kicking back and watching it on TV, so we're always cheering them on every race, that's for sure.
So I notice you've got a road race in Canada. Is it just one road race this year? Or the trucks?
Yeah, I'm trying to get a, we've actually got Xfinity too. There's Mid-Ohio and that.
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
We got 2, and then we're doing a couple road schools and things like that to get ready.
Do you like road racing? Is it fun?
It's cool. The couple that they do is fun. I wouldn't want to do it, I don't think, full time. I mean, maybe if that's what you practiced at and you're really good at, then it could be pretty cool. But since we're always going left all the time, I think mixing in the rights is fun every once in a while.
Well, if you get good enough at it, who knows? Somebody might give you a call and say, hey, I need to fill in for somebody in a cup ride.
That's right. That'd be awesome.
Well, if you ever need any road racing advice, there's a friend of mine in Atlanta that you may have heard of by the name of Jack Baldwin. You know Jack Baldwin?
Oh, yeah.
Jack Baldwin can give you some road racing advice. He's pretty damn good. Now seriously, I mean, if you tell him where you're going, what track you're going to, I know Jack well enough to know he'd be glad to sit down with you with a map of the course and say, okay, son, here's how you do it. And you can learn a lot by talking to Jack Baldwin. And he's from Atlanta, lives right there, and might be a good guy to get to know.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I know we've got some pretty cool connections with Max Pappas and a few of those guys too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
They'll be a big help on those.
Okay.
So what's your plans looking like later on? You got anything in the works? I know you said you got some Xfinity races you're going to be running. Anything else after that that's in the works?
Yeah, we've got a couple 10 races with Venturini in the ARCA series. So I think we go Martinsville and then Nashville and the ARCA car after that. So pretty cool to hop back in that thing. Hopefully we'll have a shot to win that one.
Cool. I asked Erik. I had Erik right on before you. How many people call or ask him if you guys are related to each other?
Every time. Happens every time.
Well, one's from Atlanta, one's from Michigan, so...
Well, you never know.
Yeah, no, you never know, but it just seems unlikely. But you never know.
Exactly. It's funny.
Brothers of different mothers or something like that?
Yeah.
You never know in America, let me tell you.
All right.
Anywho, so how many hot dogs do you think you're going to eat at Martinsville?
Oh man, I don't think I can make myself do it. I'm a little scared of the red weenies. I'm a little frightened. I don't know. How many of you guys have? What's the record?
Oh my God! I actually thought about talking to Mike Smith out there and maybe setting up some type of challenge out there so you could eat the most and have like a $500 gift certificate or.
Eddie Wood would beat you without even trying hard. Eddie Wood could eat 50 and not even break stride.
Oh gosh.
Oh my God.
Oh, Eddie Wood is something else.
Not for me.
Do it like over the whole weekend or something, and have a wristband and they scan you for each one you do. Or something.
All right. That's a good.
Something like that.
That's a good note to close on right there. Eating hot dogs.
Oh, talking about eating, you've been out on the West Coast racing before, right?
I have.
Been Have you had any In-N-Out burgers?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Everybody likes them.
Not get cheated there either. So.
What? I got to go out there sometime and go get an In-N-Out just for the In-N-Out burger. Don't even go watch the race. Go eat at the In-N-Out.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good.
And then fly back.
Oh gosh.
All right, tell us about your sponsors and all of your people you want to thank before we let you go.
Yeah, this year Menards has stepped on board for the Xfinity stuff and the ARCA stuff, so it's going to be awesome to get those guys out front, and it's pretty cool to support them, and hopefully we'll have an awesome connection for the future with them as well.
Yeah, Paul had a good run in California, didn't he?
He did.
Didn't he finish third, maybe something like that, third or fourth?
Yeah,
something
really
like
well.
that. He had a good run. All right.
He did.
And you know, if you're only going to win one Cup race, and you're from Wisconsin, Indy's probably a good place to win it.
Yeah, definitely. That was a big one.
Yeah,
that was, really cool
huge. And for he and his father, because John has been involved in that stuff forever, so that was a good win.
Yeah, that was huge for them. That was pretty cool to see.
We appreciate you calling in.
All right, no problem.
We'll come by and see you at Martinsville this weekend.
That sounds like a plan.
All right, thanks so much.
You guys there.
All right.
Have a good night.
Thank you guys.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, that's it.
Bubba and KO.
February 18th, Valentine's Day. Close.
Ooh, February 18th. That's my mom and dad's anniversary.
All right, let's go eat.
I know, you always want to do that eating thing.
Well, it's 8 o'clock. It's time to go eat.
All right, well, we'll catch everybody next week again on the show at Let's Talk Race.